Sick of being on the hamster wheel of leasing, constantly getting leads and applications, but just to be let down by a denial by your property manager? Well, today I wanted to validate that feeling and let you know that it's okay. And here are the things that we're doing on our leasing side to make sure that we're still getting proper leads and executing on our business plan. So for those who don't know, my name is Mike Taravella, Value Add Mike. Me and my business partner manage over 1,500 units across the country. And Q4, as we all know, is the best time of year to lease. Just kidding. It's very hard given the weather, the slowdown. It's Thanksgiving, and then it's Christmas, then it's New Year's. And so a lot of times we get into this operational funk where we're like, oh my gosh, we need to get this unit leased, and we reduce our criteria, especially now given the senior loan officer opinion survey. So that need for credit cards are going up. Consumer delinquency on consumer loans is up. And so I just want to be very careful when the ramifications of you as an owner or your general partners or your team lower your leasing criteria, what can happen. Yes, vacancy is not great, but rolling the dice on someone who's less qualified to live in your community can be absolutely detrimental. Especially Q4. So what can happen, obviously, at the beginning, you're like, yay, I got someone in, vacancy is down. But then the collections, especially Q4, can be very problematic. And so taking a less creditworthy resident could lead to delinquency, especially during this time of year and in the future. And so you're replacing that vacancy with delinquency, and then you have to have an eviction, and then you have to kick that person out, and then you have to re-renovate that unit in a couple months anyways. So I'm here to help validate the feeling of it may sound really hard and to just sit on a vacancy, but I would much rather sit on a vacancy and be vacant for a month or two longer than to have a less creditworthy tenant. Because yes, 3 months of rent at $1,000 is only $3,000, but the eviction can be a couple $100. Plus you're not getting paid that rent anyways. Plus, if they absolutely destroy the unit, that's $10,000. So $3,000 in vacancy versus $13,000 in evicting, renovations, etc. So here to just remind you, stick to your criteria. We generally look for 2.5 to 3 times rent, depending on the market. I think also another strategy that we're looking for is different credit, but also looking in different areas. So we're really focusing this quarter on outbound. So we're reaching out to the local hospitals or the local businesses we're by and saying, hey, if you have any corporate leasing or short-term, just to get us through that hump, we're allowing our residents to talking to those local businesses and local employers to help build a partnership. We're also reaching out to the police departments to see if they need any recruits or cadets or whomever position to be there so we can help support them. Even construction sites where our property management team is popping in to see if there's any housing need. So we're focusing on maintaining criteria, focusing on outbound, which I know sounds crazy, but because we haven't had to do that the last 3 years when we were getting 20% rent growths, and focusing on outbound. And I think the last thing, too, is we haven't done it, but we're considering potentially doing Furnished and doing a Furnish Finder, which is a model in which you have a shorter-term lease. It's generally a longer, a short-term nurse at a local hospital or someone who's on business, and it's a furnished business, furnished apartment, or it's someone who has an insurance claim and can't currently live in their home. So these are the 3 different things that I would recommend doing. So that you can, 1, be more proactive, 2, remind yourself that, hey, it's a slower time. And I just don't want to see teams or investors ripcord a bad decision and then regret it in 3 to 6 months as it gets to a nicer leasing time. Because also, too, another factor is that those residents, a bad resident can absolutely turn a community for the worst. And so the goodwill that you will erode with your current residents who are paying and care about the community can disappear like that. So just want to make sure we're doing the right thing to our investors, but more importantly to our residents and the communities and our managers. And so if you have any questions, please let me know. Put them in the comments. Most importantly, please like our newsletter in the description, and we'll keep taking over the world together. Bye.